Okay, today 2003 Lincoln Navigator. I don't even know where to begin on the list of things that were supposed to be wrong with this car. Suspension not working, door locks not working, which is true. When I got here, they've had, I don't even know how many things all apart already. Right now I got the Ford or Bosch VCM2 hooked up on here with the breakout box. I'll show you guys why. Let's see, I'll rerun this test here so you guys can see it. And I'm pretty much where I'm going to stop on this car right now until we have a new part in our hands, because, well, as you'll see, it doesn't make sense to go too much further without at least addressing one of the main issues here. There was really, a list of things that are not working here. Liftgate control module, automatic temperature control, quite a few things here. One of the things, though, that you'll want to see is one of these codes. Let's see if I can get in there. Solar radiation sensor module configuration failure. All that sounds good and fine. There's a code missing from here, and it was there earlier. What you want to do is come down here and look at these optional equipment modules and the standard equipment modules. When you see a standard equipment module that's not talking, that's an issue. That's something you want to address. I'll show you guys what the original codes were, and if I go back in here, I'll pull up a log. And this will give you all the original codes that I came in here with. And these codes, the ones they say UBP communication fault, are the ones that I was concerned with. Now the UBP is just a single wire network, and that network runs a 0 to 12. It'll be a communication line that it uses in order to sit there and have most of the body control units be able to talk to one another. I'll pull up a diagram on the other side there so you guys can see it. But I wanted you to see the original codes that I came in here with, and then I'll show you what we're going to do here to break down this diagnosis a little bit faster. So, if we come around to this side, and we pull up a diagram, let me get back out, and I'll go into, let's see, one more diagram back, I believe. Here's our module communication network. I know there's going to be a glare on the screen, guys. There's not much I can do about that where I am. But this is our UBP network, which should be listed on here somewhere. See, can I make that bigger on this one? Click for full screen. It never goes full screen for me. Anyhow, this is the UBP network. And these are the modules that would be on there. UBP bus, it says it up there in the top left by instrument cluster. Our cluster talked. Our automatic climate control talked. Our four-wheel drive control module is not on the network here, or at least I didn't notice it there. It might be there. Power liftgate module is not on the network. That's an optional module, and I don't believe that this actually has a power liftgate, believe it or not. But if we come over here, we look at our air suspension module. That's on the network that we're looking for. Climate control seat module and VESM, vehicle security module. Well, I started looking around out there, and the first thing I want to know is, like, what's the easiest one that I can get to? The trunk right now does not open, but I believe that's because it's locked, and you have to hit the power unlock switch in order to unlock this thing so you can actually open it. And our VESM is in control of a lot of this. So if I come in here and I look at, let's say 59-2, click on that. That's not the one we want. Let's go back one more. And in Ford here, if you hit these little links, it'll send you to a diagram that's relative to what you want here. So here's my VESM. This is going to be my powers, grounds, reference voltages, and our UBP bus. Now, that UBP bus, I did go down to where that vehicle security module is, which is all the way in the back, kind of tucked in there. If you can see where my piercing probe is, it's all the way in the back. I went on there. That UBP bus was good right up to the module itself. So clearly I just want to go in there and check for powers and grounds. Right now I'm hooked into a red and white power wire, which comes from fuse number 1.5, 7.5 amp. That's in the central junction box, which is just below that, down here. So at the fuse we have 12 volts. It's going to be impossible for me to try to show you guys every single step here, but I'll just try to walk you through. So right now I'm tied into that red and white wire, and with it that way I have 4 volts, which we'll look at the scope. I have it up on the scope now. want you guys to know, they were trying to diagnose this without even having a wiring diagram in front of them. So I don't know what they were planning on accomplishing, but anyhow. So right now, let's see if I can kill some of that glare. Not really. All right, well, yeah, we're at 4 volts on that red and white wire. So one of the things I can do here is, I know I have 12 volts going into the box, or at least at the box itself on that fuse. That fuse should be sending out power to that red and white wire. It is not. If I remove the fuse, it automatically drops down to 0. I'm not going to be able to show you that either. A lot of things I can't show you when I'm trying to make a video and just try to get you guys through the diagnostic process. But what we can do here is I'm going to take this lead and I'm going to put it into, I don't care what you guys use, snap-on, whatever. I'm just using this because it's fused and it has really long extension leads. And since it's kind of hard to find the power and ground on this thing, it makes it easier. On the snap-on one, you can put it into the latched mode. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this before. But if I sit here and I press this button, it's going to apply 12 volts in a latched format, so I don't have to hold the button. Alright, so right now it's putting 14.1 volts out there on that line, and it's fused at 7.5 amps. You get to select what you want to fuse it at. I think they armored all the seats in this thing. I'm sliding around as I'm trying to make this video for you. But if we come in here now, remember that was the VSM that was completely offline. And by removing that fuse and watching that 4 volts go away, that tells me that my wire integrity is good from the module down to, or from the central junction box, which is a module, down to our VESM. So now, oops, I don't want to do that. Now, if you look here, VSM shows up as passed. So our vehicle security module comes right back online. I stop here because I don't want to go any further. The first thing I want to know is, where is this customer at? When I'm down there looking at that when I'm looking at that junction box there, it looks like somebody had replaced one of the harnesses or one of the connectors going into that junction box once already, which means the guy's probably got water intrusion. This car is been tinkered with, it's been played with, and it's just rotten away. You know, I think it came from Avoca. And same thing over here. If we start looking down in there, we show signs of water intrusion there. Our ground wire, you can barely see there, but you can see some corrosion that's already happening over there. Water scale. You know, this is something that before I go any further, I want to get in a customer's okay to say, hey, you know, am I really going much further than this? And what do you want to do with this thing? It's a 15-year-old truck. I'm sure it's, you know, it's worth something to someone. Up here in New York, you know, when they start to sit there and lose chunks of their body, you can only imagine what the underside of this thing probably looks like. And I'm not going underneath there to look yet, but I want to get his okay first. Let's get a fuse box in this thing and take it from there. What I didn't do, and I will do now, is if I pull up this S379, I could see, or actually let me see if I can see with the fuse here, 13-3. We can see with that one fuse fed. Is it only the VESM, or is it more than just that? So, notice it says 2.5 here. That's actually correct. Look what it feeds. It is a battery feed also into the PCM. It is a wire that goes into a deactivator switch, a VESM. It goes into third row seats. It also goes back to the power liftgate module if it should have one. It's a little 7.5 amp fuse. Feeds a whole lot of things here. Clock, sun load sensor, brake pedal position switch, automatic temperature control. You know, we had communication with some of these things, and again, this car starts and runs. So, but does the PCM really need to have the hot at all times there, or is that just for memory power? In this case here, I would guess it was going to be memory power or keep alive power. Boy, I can't talk today. Might be going a little numb over here. It's windy as could be. But anyhow, so I'm going to address this first by putting in a new central junction box right down there. Get that in, and I believe there's a programming on this one, which we can find out right now, because I think indeed This one might be programmable. 2003, I think that might be the cutoff year. Let's find out. And if we come in here and we do junction box, we'll just pick one of those. I find this to be a little bit faster sometimes. And I come in here and I click on central junction box, and then I'll hit remove and replace. Component locations, inertia switch, PCM, TSBs, other. Just component locations. General descriptions. This is going to be a plug and play. So, fuse box has to come in first. We'll replace that, and then we'll go from there. I wonder if they mentioned anything up here about it. Nope, 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 and nope. Nope. So anyhow, gonna get a new central junction box in this thing, and then start taking it from there. We need to get power out there. Obviously, it goes through quite a few modules, and you know, we need to address this as quickly as possible. So anyhow, that's it. Real quick and easy. I will disconnect my power out there now, and you guys have a good day.